Okay, so hi.
Hi.
This is Carolyn Roush.
You know, what's funny is when we look backwards, we always rewrite history.
Oh God. For me, I just kind of, the more classes I took, the more I talked to professors. I talked to our aunt, Pammy, and learned a lot about her career and what she does on an everyday basis and what that's like and what I could do. So that's kind of what led me here. But even after college, it doesn't stop. To ease my anxiety, I've kind of accepted that, okay, this is what I want to do right now. This is what I like doing. This is my dream. But 5 years, 10 years from now, 20 years, I could totally change it, and that's totally fine. And I can always go back to school, and it will be fine, and it's normal. And a lot of people do it. So that's the mindset I have. That's a really good point, I think.
I mean, it was a little bit of dumb luck, really. I did send out letters to various people I found in like newspaper articles to say that I was coming. There was no internet, of course, right? So I would find like magazine articles, newspaper articles, what was going on over there, see who was quoted, and send these letters out to people to request interviews. And strangely enough, people actually did allow me to interview, and I was hired eventually there. So that was my dream, but there was a lot of uncertainty coming out of college. I was kind of winging it. And I was kind of running out of money just when I finally got a job. So I wouldn't recommend that path necessarily as a plan.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so definitely. So there was a point in my career where I had done my second presidential campaign, and I had an option to go to Arkansas to work for the Clinton campaign, which probably would have led to a White House job, or possibly, but probably. But at that point, I just decided I was sick of making $1,000 a month, and I needed to have more money to pay rent and other things. And so I decided it was time to get a real job. So rather than working on the Clinton campaign, I went to a PR firm. So that was a pretty seminal decision made partially because of of financial reasons.
That makes sense. One financial thing that really kind of guided my life is for grad school, I was accepted to NYU, and I was also accepted to City College. City College is a fourth of the price of NYU. It's the same program, obviously, right. 2 different places. I'm sure you learn different things and maybe get a different experience, but in my field, the mental health counseling field, the school you go to doesn't necessarily matter, which is what I've gathered from just people that are in the field now. So that was a huge decision that I made, where I would rather go to this school that I was also excited about, City College. There was a lot of pros to that, and it was the reason why I wanted to live in the city. And it's allowed me to live in the city, because if I went to NYU, I probably would not be able to afford to live here. Yeah. So that was a big financial decision, I guess.
So in my career path financially, it's really interesting because I did go through the pain of suffering of being a partner in a law firm for 10 years. And so that allowed me to put away a lot of money toward things like retirement and college costs, and just to start with a mortgage, a house, and to start to pay that down. And so by the time I was in my, I guess it was early, sort of when I turned 50, I had this sense that I had a lot more flexibility to do what I really wanted to do. And, you know, different folks have different definitions of success. But for me, my sense was that I strongly wanted to have some more time at home while my daughter was still in high school and was going to be applying for colleges and things like that. And my law firm job was extremely demanding and very unpredictable and required a lot of travel. So, but also I thought I really want to do what I love. My law firm work had started to turn into a practice that was a little bit more removed from developing country work. And I thought the reason why I came to project finance was I wanted to do international development. And so I reached out to an old client, the World Bank Group, the International Finance Corporation, and started exploring the various things I might do. Now, and I was very fortunate that ultimately that worked out. So I'm in a job that I love. I'm not making as much as I was when I was 50. Now I'm 56. But I'm actually in a position where I don't have to. I can put love of my work ahead of the financial aspects because of the early savings.
Be realistic and also have like perspective, because I think like, especially like what I realized like from graduating from Georgetown is that like my expectations for like salary and like the kind of job that I would have were like really far from like the reality for like a lot of people, especially now when like millions of people are like out of jobs. So I think just like being kind to yourself, and like obviously like if you need to find a job like now, like do your searching and stuff too, but just kind of remember that like it's like finding a job is difficult, and it took me like all summer to do it, and like some people it takes even longer. It's just kind of just like keeping perspective and remembering that like it'll be like fine. Like your first job might not be like exactly how you pictured it, and it might not be like a shiny like analyst role at like Bain or something, but like I definitely think that like having graduated from like a university as good as Georgetown and like the skills that it gives you, like I definitely think that like will be like fine in the long run.